It's been a late night watching TV, and your hand drifts over the bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos beside you. You reach the bottom and realize that you've eaten the whole bag without thinking about it. Your stomach feels a little icky, but then you remember the second bag in your cupboard and you begin to salivate again. You think that if you just drink a little, your stomach will feel better, so you down a tall glass of water and snatch the second bag of chips out of the kitchen, tearing into it as you sit back down on your couch, the hot and sweet spices dancing on your tongue, and the heat radiating to the top of your mouth. Suddenly, the pain in your stomach doubles, triples, quadruples into a stabbing pain in your gut. It's too much to bear, so you call the hospital and an ambulance arrives moments later to carry you off. Next thing you know, you're on a gurney, rolling down a hallway toward the surgical theater en route to have one of your organs removed. This sounds like a freak accident, but back in 2018, rapper Lil Xan had to check himself into the hospital after one too many hot Cheetos after it ripped something in his stomach open a little bit and he puked a little blood. But competitive eaters like Matt Stonie are able to slam back heaps of hot, ultra spicy foods with little consequence. Cheeto-driven hospitalizations aren't new. In just a span of 1 year, a single children's hospital in Memphis, Tennessee watched 150 patients come to them with gastric distress caused by the tantalizing spicy snack. What's going on, and how could something as tasty as Flamin' Hot Cheetos hospitalize you? After experiencing stomach pains amidst eating a bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and Fuego Takis, 17-year-old Rene Craighead in summer 2018 was sent to the hospital. The teenager made a habit of eating hot chips, and her mother, also named Rene, noted that her daughter would typically eat 4 bags of snacks a week. She loves them, Miss Craighead said. Every time I go out, she says, bring me back some hot Takis, bring me back some hot chips. I want to make her happy, so I brought them back. She was eating big bags and would take them to school with her. Notably, Flamin' Hot Cheetos, trademark, were banned back in 2012 across school districts in New Mexico and California. If you bring a bag to school, you risk having it confiscated. This video is sponsored by NordVPN. NordVPN protects your online activity and hides your IP through a virtual private network without any disruptions to your internet speed. Your connection data is encrypted, so your ISP can't slow down your browsing or streaming, and you can gain access to your favorite shows unavailable in your home country with just one click. NordVPN is the fastest VPN out there, and you can access it on 6 devices on every major platform. With over 5,200 servers worldwide, you can even use NordVPN to find sales on video games or local ticket pricing for your travels. So you can travel more for less. Click our link below or go to nordvpn.com/brew to get an additional 4 months free. It's risk-free with NordVPN's 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/brew for 4 free months on top of any VPN plan. Now, let's get back into it. When Rene went to school, she began feeling sick to her stomach and was soon taken to the hospital for surgery. Doctors were forced to remove Rene's gallbladder. News reports don't specify why, but her mother believed it was from eating too many spicy chips, warning parents in news interviews. However, Healthline tells us the most common cause for gallbladder removal are gallstones, hard deposits of waste and bile that can plug biliary ducts, leading to all sorts of health problems and a world of pain. The National Institutes of Health say that they found that obesity can make you more susceptible to develop gallstones, but medical experts don't usually associate spicy foods with gallstones, though. Rene isn't the only one experiencing health issues after eating hot Cheetos, Takis, and other spicy foods, however. In fact, as far back as 2013, a Copypasta circulated on the internet claiming to be the first-person perspective of a mother whose 10-year-old daughter was hospitalized by Takis. She writes that her daughter experienced extreme stomach pain, and when the doctor discovered that the girl ate 3 small bags of Takis a month, she immediately warned them about the risks of eating them. The doctor continues, saying that she had seen a 16-month-old suffering from throat cancer caused by Takis. The toddler's teeth couldn't grow after his gums were affected by the chips, and was now undergoing chemotherapy at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. I don't know if a toddler should necessarily eat hot chips, but can that really cause cancer? The mother then pleads with people to stop eating Takis, saying, "Please spread the word! Stop eating Takis and hot chips! The doctor explained how the harsh chemicals and seasoning in the chips cause corrosion in the throat and stomach." This story isn't backed up by much of anything, but hot foods are connected to stomach issues. Dr. Carrie Canvinder, a gastroenterologist at La Bonheur Children's Hospital, says that he sees about 100 kids a month with stomach pain connected to spicy snacks. Specifically, we do see tons of gastritis and ulcer-related stuff due to spicy food. If you've mistakenly put a little too much hot sauce on your burrito or chicken wing or coffee that one time, then you know what it feels like when all that hot goodness hits your stomach. So, what is gastritis? And can something as innocuous as Takis and Cheetos really give you ulcers? Gastritis and ulcers are both stomach issues, and they both feel terrible. Gastritis is when your stomach lining becomes inflamed. It can be caused by a great number of things, including infections, burns, surgery, stress, long-term use of prescription drugs, smoking, too much alcohol, and eating spicy food. It can be caused by a great number of things. Symptom-wise, gastritis presents as stomach pain, vomiting, gas and hiccups, a feeling of burning in your belly, and in bad cases, blood in your vomit and feces. Generally, if you consume anything to excess, it's going to throw some part of your body out of whack. Medical professionals will usually give you antacids to help neutralize your stomach acid. Your stomach is really tough against acid, since its role in your body is to break down food using acid. But anything that vastly changes the acidity can cause problems. If gastritis is triggered by infection or some complication to another illness, then treatment of the cause is their best course of action. The real fear with gastritis is that it can lead to stomach tumors, both cancerous and non-cancerous, as well as peptic ulcer disease, ulcers in the stomach and the upper part of the intestine. Ulcers, you may be wondering, are basically just little sores that can develop in your stomach lining as gastric ulcers, or your intestine as duodenal ulcers. The most common symptom is abdominal pain as the acid in your stomach irritates the wound. One way you can limit the pain is to avoid having an empty stomach, as well as taking antacids to help lower the pH level in your stomach, much like with gastritis. With treatment, gastritis can heal in about 12 weeks, and ulcers can heal in a few months. So that's what gastritis and ulcers are, but how does spicy food affect your stomach? And can Takis and hot Cheetos really give you cancer? Ivan Juarez, chief of pediatrics at Kaiser Permanente Fresno, tells us that the spice in those snack foods increase stomach acidity, and when eaten in high enough amounts, can trigger stomach aches so terrible they're doubled over in pain. She continues, saying that she's had patients go to the ER because of it. It's insane, absolutely insane. And as we learned a moment ago, both gastritis and ulcers can be caused by rapid increases in stomach pH values. So it makes sense that eating food that can increase stomach acidity in large quantities can give your stomach the bad rumblies. That said, even a normal amount of spicy Takis and hot Cheetos can send you to the hospital, but not in the way you'd expect. St. Louis Children's Hospital pediatrician Dr. Kathleen Berschelman said that consuming large amounts of the chips can turn your stool red, which can be misidentified as blood. It's because of the bright red food dyes found or put into these snacks, like in red velvet cake or food that contain a lot of pigments such as red peppers and beets. Of course, if you think there's even a remote chance that there's blood in your stool, go to a doctor immediately. So acidity can cause all sorts of problems for your insides, but to understand how spicy these snacks really are, we gotta learn what a Scoville unit is. It's the unit with hot measurements and even hotter wings. Scoville heat units is the scale we use to measure the spice level of any particular spice or product. For example, a jalapeno pepper contains around 3,500 to 10,000 Scoville units. Habanero has about 100,000 to 350,000, and the Carolina Reaper pepper, the hottest pepper on Earth, has about 1 million to 2 million units. Just FYI, pepper spray contains between 2.5 million and 5 million Scoville units, and that's specifically supposed to go into the eyes. Scoville ratings are measured by how many equal parts water need to be added to the extract of a particular spice before you no longer detect any spice. For example, oil from the Carolina Reaper would need to be diluted in 1 to 2 million equal parts water. It's difficult to determine the actual spice levels of products, since manufacturers usually don't love revealing their super secret spicy ingredients, but also because Scoville ratings are subjective. That said, a local blog in Dallas, Crave DFW, cites an unknown expert claiming that Flamin' Hot Cheetos sits around 50,000 units, the equivalent of a chili pepper. Similarly, website How to Discuss claims that Fuego Takis are also similarly spiced to Flamin' Hot Cheetos at around 50,000 Scoville units. We can't verify these claims since they don't source where they got their information, but it still serves to illustrate how hot these snacks can be. So what happens when we eat too much? How much spice is too much spice? Snopes spoke to Dr. Robert Glatter, emergency medicine physician at Lenox Hill Hospital in New York, notes that some of his patients who have consumed Flamin' Hot Cheetos in excess have complained of pain in their upper abdomen rising up into their chest, likely due to the red peppers and spice contained in the snack. According to dietitian Vanessa Rossetto, if you suffer from acid reflux, spicy foods can cause more acid, making symptoms worse. Even if acid reflux isn't an issue for you, spicy foods, as we learned, can inflame your stomach lining, which impairs your stomach's ability to break down food. In addition to that, if you're drinking water to cool down your hot, spicy mouth, you can find yourself toilet-bound with a bad case of diarrhea. Rene Craighead ate somewhere in the realm of 4 bags of Hot Cheetos a week, and our unnamed child in the Copypasta apparently only ate 3 small bags of Takis a month. So how much is too much? Unfortunately, it's not as easy as a specific hard cutoff. How much spice one can handle changes from person to person. In the end, everyone has a different tolerance for hot foods. While Lil Xan was probably only able to handle a smaller amount of spice before getting carted to the hospital, figures like Matt Stonie, who eats copious amounts of Flamin' Hot Cheetos on his YouTube channel, and Molly Schuyler, the Philadelphia buffalo wing eating champ who managed to eat 501 hot buffalo wings in 30 minutes, have physically trained their bodies to be able to handle it. It's impossible to give you a hard limit on how many Takis and Hot Cheetos will give you stomach issues, since your body is unique and the way it reacts to certain substances will be different than anyone else. If you consume small amounts of hot food over time, like developing calluses on your fingers, you can train your body to digest hot foods more easily and with less, well, diarrhea. Food products do have serving sizes for a reason, and the key to avoid acid reflux, ulcers, and gastritis is to eat in moderation. But what about our throat cancer claim about hot Takis from the Copypasta though? I'm happy to tell you that this claim is likely false, or at the very least, greatly exaggerated. According to urgent care doctors via Stanford Medical, there is no one single cause for cancer. Scientists believe that this is the interaction of many factors together that produces cancer. The factors involved may be genetic, environmental, or constitutional characteristics of the individual. That doesn't mean that Takis and Hot Cheetos can't cause cancer, but that no doctor would claim that these snacks alone can cause cancer. So, can they? Not more than anything else, really. There are many reports of Flamin' Hot Cheetos and Takis sending people to the hospital, but only one claiming to link these snacks with cancer risk, our Copypasta from an unverifiable source. If there is a direct link between these hot snacks and cancer, we haven't fully elucidated that yet. Really, the takeaway from all of this is threefold. 1. Spicy foods can increase your stomach acidity. And while it's usually really good at handling acids, since it uses acid to break down our foods, by adding to the pH level, we can give ourselves a bad time. 2nd, no single factor can be said to have caused cancer. And while it's difficult to say that something 100% does not cause cancer, we should be skeptical of any medical stories that attribute cancer to any single substance or product. 3rd, the best thing we can do to avoid stomach issues like gastritis, ulcers, and acid reflux is to simply consume in moderation. All food products have serving sizes right on the label planned out with the ingredients in mind. For example, like we explored in a previous video, milk is generally fine in small amounts, but drinking too much can lead to vomiting, diarrhea, and painful bloating. Just because something is safe, or even good, doesn't mean it won't ruin you in excess. What? In the words of Takis Public Relations, they fully comply with US Food and Drug Administration regulations, and all of the ingredients in each flavor are listed in detail on the label. Always check the serving size before snacking. Just remember, eat in moderation, or else face spicy frustration. And also pain, probably. Remember, check out our exclusive deal at nordvpn.com/brew for the complete cybersecurity package offer with an additional 4 months free.